Hi, I'm Raphael for Homecca.com. We're here in central New Jersey. It's about the end of September, beginning October, and we're going to show you how to close and winterize an in-ground pool for the season. Okay, so the first thing is to make sure that your chemicals in the pool are up to level, and you might want to add a little bit more just for the winter. So the first thing that we're going to be using, so what we use normally is just plain old baking soda, and this is used all year round to keep the pH levels adjusted, and you can see pool maintenance. And if you have any extra, you can give it to your wife to do the laundry. The other thing that we use all year round is shock. One bag covers 12,000 gallons. For the winter, we're going to put in an extra bag. Okay, so we talked about the chemicals. The next step is to make sure that your pool is clean, no leaves. Make sure the vacuum hose is running and cleans up the bottom. And here we have our faithful leaf boy cleaning up everything. Here we got some bad leaves. They're going to be disposed of. There's one leaf at the bottom, which we're going to catch and get rid of him too. Try to make sure the pool is absolutely clean. It's not necessary that every single leaf is gone because it doesn't matter. Just throw them outside the fence, make sure they don't get back in. So something that I want to show you, something that I recommend. You know, we normally have skimmers that are normally, built into the side of the pool, but I recently discovered this little doodad, and it's just plugged into the exhaust of the pool, and it creates this cool little vacuum system and catches a ton of leaves, much better than the skimmer that I have. Alright, so if you have some algae or some green stuff in your pool, just use the brush. There's some in the bottom corner over here. We'll just try to scrape that up and get that clean so we don't have anything growing throughout the winter season. While you're getting all these things prepared, cleaning, the pool is running. We put in the chemicals earlier to make sure everything gets dispersed properly and that it's all brought to neutral right before we close it. We're going to put on a different tip to the handle so we can get into the corners. So much like a dentist, my faithful friend over here is really getting into the nooks and crannies. If there's some green left over, that's why we put in the extra chlorine, so that to make sure that nothing can grow. Plus, once we cover it and there's no sunlight coming in, it's not going to grow. That's the whole reason for the cover. One of the reasons for the cover is to make sure that nothing grows. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to drain the water. We're going to drain the water just below the skimmers. So these are your skimmers. You should have maybe two. I have two. Maybe there's one. But we have the water level just about an inch from the surface. We're going to drain the water about an inch just below the skimmers for the season. Okay, so I showed you the level of the water that we're going to drain. So the next step is to actually start draining it. So we're over here by the pump side, and we're going to set the handle to backwash, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. And we're going to drain the water. It should be pretty fast. And doing the backwash actually helps clean your filter out for the season too. Okay, so we're going to go. All right, she's running. Of course, this little thing here, this thing tells you if your water's clean. So during the season when you're cleaning it, you can see little things floating around in there, little leaves, dirt. You look at all that dirt, that's beautiful. And here we can see the water jetting out, and we're going to just let that go until our water level is where we want it. All right, so while our pool is draining, it'll take maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. We're going to clean out our skimmers. So we take the lid off, we pull out our little bucket here that catches all of our leaves, and you do that on both skimmers. So while the pool's empty, we said we were going to clean out the skimmers. Don't forget, we got to remove all the hardware. So we're going to have this removed, this railing, and we're going to remove the stairs and the deep end as well. Okay? Look at that, beautiful. Oh my gosh. It doesn't get easier than that, my friend. This just stays. You don't remove these, you leave these here. Later on, we'll show you there's some water in here. We'll have to vacuum that out. Okay, so we removed the one rail, but at the same time, as I said before, the water's draining, so you can see we're halfway there. I'd say 10, 15 minutes has passed, so another 15 minutes or so. Little bug, get out of here. All right, the other thing you gotta be careful of, because you're still using your skimmers. Once the water level gets too low, you don't want to get air into the system. So, I would say when it's about an inch away, I don't know if you can see, an inch away from the open end of the skimmer. The water level, the top of the water level is an inch away from the open end of the skimmer. Actually, you'll also hear a loud noise, like a siphoning noise, if there's air starting to get into your system. Be sure you shut both skimmers off and you're just pulling water from your bottom floor drains. The floor drains are usually in the deep end. You can see it, I don't know, hopefully you can see it through the camera. There's usually one, could be two, but that's what you're going to drain the rest of the water from. You'll also have to remove the creepy crawler that you have because he's hooked up to the skimmer. You can use him. I would disconnect him at that point. So here's our skimmer. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. We're almost there. Okay. We'll hear the sound soon. Very soon we'll hear that siphoning sound and we'll switch off the skimmers. Here we are. You can hear. Okay, we're gonna switch now. My friend over there, he went over back to the pool, to the pump area. Okay, switch it. All right, we shut the skimmers off. Okay, so the water filled back up, obviously. Now we're just feeding off of the floor drain, as I explained to you earlier, and that's how we're gonna drain the rest of the water, as we said, to below the skimmer over here. Our creepy crawler, he'll be put away for the season as well. Just make sure if you're gonna leave your hoses outside that all the water is drained so that nothing freezes up over the winter. While the rest of the water is draining, we're gonna remove our little additional skimmer. While we're waiting for the rest of the water to drain, okay, so we're most efficient, we're gonna start to slowly unscrew all of our hooks for the cover. Whoa, that's a long tool, my friend. All right, so that will fit right into here. Okay, you unscrew it, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Ah, he's getting there, it's getting tight. That's all right, don't worry about it. There's just some dirt in there. Okay, so you'll do that for every single one of these that you have around the pool. You can do that now while we're waiting for the rest of the water to drain. So if you don't have this tool over here that comes with the pool, you can use a regular old Allen wrench. Okay. I can also hook a drill bit up to my cordless drill. Alright, so in case one of these hooks for you is too tight or gets stuck and you can't turn it with your little key here, we use a little bit of WD-40. You just spray it in there like that. Maybe let it sit for 2 minutes or so, let it get in there, and then you can start to unscrew it. It'll be a little tight, but it's moving, and that's what we want. Actually, you know what we'll do? I think we'll take it out completely and clean it. Okay, so we cleaned out everything in here. We got all the dirt out. We just used some DW-40 napkin. We sprayed it up in there. We got in there. We screwed this in the paper towel. We actually made a little point like that, you know, home invention, and we screwed it in. And we got all that dirt out of there. So instead of using this, if you have a drill with the right drill bit, so it matches this, you put it in. Went wrong way. Beautiful. Things are tight. Make sure your battery's charged. Oh, yeah, all right, look at that. Stuff's gonna happen, man. Things are like this in life, so we deal with it and we make it work. That's it, okay. Not everything's gonna be perfect. Nothing's perfect, but we make it work. We'll go to the next one in a few minutes. Our water level's getting low. We're gonna go shut off our pump in a second, and we'll take you to the next step. Make sure your hose is draining properly. All right, so our water level got to where we want it. So take a look where the water level is. It's right here, right at the edge of the skimmer, 1 inch away. from the opening, so that's where we want it. So our next step is going to be to get rid of the water from inside of the skimmer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our pump, and we're going to turn on the skimmer this side because you can control it with your valve, and we're going to suck out as much water as we can, and then we're going to use a shop vac to blow out the lines. So those are our next steps. Okay. Alright, so we're by the pump. So if you remember when we were draining the pool, we had shut off the skimmers. These are our skimmer intakes. Here's our valve, and here's our floor drain valve. So what we did is we shut off the skimmer side, and only we're pulling from the floor. Okay, so what we're going to do now to get the water from our skimmers is we're going to turn on the pump. In 1 second, we're going to turn on the pump. We're going to continue pulling from the floor. We're going to shut off one of our skimmers. Okay, then we're going to slowly open up the valve between the floor and one of the skimmers to pull out as much water as we can from the line. Okay, that'll be step number 1. Then we'll repeat that for the other side of the skimmer. Okay, so we'll do that in a second. It's going to be loud, so you may not be able to hear me to talk, so it's just going to be an illustration. Alright, so we're going to show you how the skimmer gets emptied, alright? So my companion over there will show you the water level going down, and I'm going to be playing with the valves. Make sure your wife doesn't see you playing with your valves. We're going. Empty? Alright. So that one is empty now. But we have a little bit of air in the system. So we're going to let it recharge again with the floor valve. So I shut the skimmers off, and we're just pulling from the floor again. Alright, so what I said before is we emptied the skimmer. Okay, once the skimmer is empty, you'll get some air in your system. Okay, so we want to recharge it again. So what we did is I closed that one, the floor valve, so that it's just pulling from the floor. Okay, and the skimmer system is shut off. So we're going to repeat exactly the same thing for this skimmer over here.
Getting his tools now. Worker's taking a break.
Look what came out of the woods. Alright, so regarding the second skimmer, what we're going to do, if you remember, we had shut off the valve, we shut this off, so we emptied this one. Okay, now we're going to have to empty this one. But so this one has air in it, and actually it doesn't have any more water in it, so we need to make sure that we don't contaminate this line with air. So before we turn this floor valve on, we're going to turn this off. Okay, so now this one is shut off, and it's just going to pull from here. Okay, so our system's running. We're going to slowly open up our little valve, our floor valve here. We're going to pull all that water out of that line. Okay. Alright, it's done. It's done. You see that? That means we emptied it up. We shut the valve off. And we're good. Both of our skimmer lines are empty. Alright, you can see our skimmers are completely empty. Before we air out the system, just make sure that from your jets in the pool. So we removed the one from the other side, if you remember, and here all you have to do, some of them may be a little tighter for the end of the season because they've been screwed in. We just unscrew it, and this is where we're going to put in our rubber corks later on. Okay, so we emptied our skimmers, so that means we're going to be done with our filter system in terms of using it. We're going to show you later how to drain it, and then we're going to drain this guy over here, which is the skimmer basket. Alright, so we're going to open up our skimmer basket. So we unscrewed these things here. Okay, and what we're going to do, the reason we're opening this is we want to clean the filter. There's another basket in here, we want to clean that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take our shop vac and we're going to blow the air out through the skimmers, alright? Alright. What the hell is that? I killed it. It's dead. It was a big ass spider. Good thing it's dead, because it would have scared the crap out of me. Alright. Alright, so let's clean him off of there because we don't need him. Hopefully he's dead. Oh, that's a big mama. Look at that. Oh my god, he's still alive! Oh shit! Oh crap!
Scary. You can see his eyes, man.
So, in this system, in this skimmer system, all of them, they'll have a little screw. Let's see if you can see my finger there. You'll have this, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to unscrew that. And what that's going to do is going to drain the water from here out, which we need to do because we don't want that to freeze. Alright, so we're going to, let me get in there. Alright, we're going to unscrew that thing and you're going to see water coming out. Alright, and that little screw, okay, you can put it away for the season. You can put it in the basket that we took out, so everything's in its same spot. Alright, so with this one we got another screw over here, which we'll unscrew and drain. I don't know if there's how much water is left in this one. A little bit, okay. That'll drain the water from the pump area over there. Okay, so we can see our water is gone. That's what we wanted to do. Alright, so we got our shop vac, the black hose. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it on so we have it set in the reverse direction to blow. Okay, not to suck. It's going to blow. Alright? And we took off the cover, if you remember where the spider was. That scared the hell out of me. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to hook up this end into our tube over here. Okay, maybe you can get in there and videotape that. Good. And okay, so if you look at the way the valves, okay, we have our 4 valves still closed. We can open that now, it doesn't matter anymore. We can actually close it off. And we're gonna turn on our skimmers. We're gonna open up our valve skimmers. Okay, so they're both open now. We're gonna close one. Okay, we're gonna close the one. We're gonna focus in, we're gonna videotape the one directly across from us, so that's why I switched it over here, because that one is this one. And what we're going to see is there's air going to be blowing through here, and then it's going to blow up the rest of the water that's in our lines, and you'll see the water shooting up over there. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, we're blowing. We're dripping. Okay, you can see our water shooting out. Okay, let's go walk over there. Okay, so if you remember this was empty before, this is the rest of the water that's in the line. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our skimmer thingy, actually I don't know what this is called, and it has a thread, and we put some Teflon tape on it and you screw it inside, okay? So you can see it's still percolating water. That means we didn't close it. I mean air, the air that's coming from the vacuum. So we're going to keep turning it until our air stops and our vacuum actually may jump out. Okay, look at that, beautiful. You see that? No more air coming through. We close our system. All right, we're back here. So we still got our vacuum hooked up. It didn't pop out. That's great. We're going to change our valves to the other skimmer. Okay, and we're going to see exactly the same thing on the other side. All right, let's take a walk. And we're going to do the same thing. Just keep your face away so you don't get shot in the face with water. You don't want to get shot in the face at any time. Can't find the hole. All right, I got the hole, but I'm wet. All right, it's percolating. We're gonna screw it down. All right, so the next step, like I said before, hopefully it's on the video, is we're going to blow out the jets. Okay, so we're gonna, in order to access our most direct point, which is right here, because this line leads directly to the lines in the pool. So I think there's a way you can go through there to go through your system, but there's a lot of areas where air can escape and get trapped and you won't get the pressure you need. So we're going to unscrew our little guy here and we're going to put our hose in here. So this is fairly easy to unscrew. It's a big, just a big washer, big nut. So grab it with 2 hands, or if it's too tight, you can get a towel, a damp towel, and wrap it, and then just turn it. And you'll get enough torque on there to unscrew it. So you just unscrew this. Okay, be sure to support it with 1 hand. So first loosen this side, okay, and support it so it doesn't fall or break your piping. Whoa, I think one of the pipes just broke, man. All right, so this guy you can put away for the winter with all your other things. This is our line to the pool. Here's our black hose again. All right, we're gonna put them in. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put them in right there, and you're gonna see the air coming through in the pool. So on. Okay. All right. So I wedged the hose on the other side so that it can stay in there. It's better if you have 2 people, but if you don't, you can do it with 1. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this guy up, okay, because we got air coming through there with one of our rubber corks, and then you're gonna see on the other side, you'll see the air coming through that side, okay, because we got to close one system down, okay, because this is the path of least resistance on this side. So I'm gonna go over and get a rubber cork. Alright, here's our rubber cork. It's usually got a little wing nut on there, okay? Essentially the way it works is you loosen it up, you would put it into the hole, and then you tighten it, and what it does is it expands this, okay? So it's nice and tight and creates a seal. Let's go. I said before that we'd have to use the rubber one. Unfortunately on this size diameter, we don't have the right size one, so we have to use this plug. Again, they come in both sizes, the small one and the large one. That looks like that. There's a large one that looks just like this. Again, we don't have it, so we're going to use this one here. We got the air percolating through. Same thing what we did before. Oh yeah, getting tight, baby. Okay, so same thing. Use your same blunt tool that you had. You don't want sharp tools by our vinyl, okay? We don't want to cut it, we don't want to scratch it. Beautiful. Perfect. We're going to take our vacuum out. Alright, so we're back by the pump. We're going to shut off our vacuum. I'm going to take the hose out. Here's how I wedged it in, okay? So I only needed 1 person. It worked. It's what we wanted to do. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to drain the water here because we don't want any water in there either because we don't want to crack it. So come on over here to this side. So we're going to open up, hold on, before we open it up, make sure our filter over here, our valve is in the up position so it's open so that all the water drains. So here we're going to use like a, you can use any type of tool to kind of get a good torque, and we're going to unscrew this over here. My friendly companion is going to get in there. It's got it. Oh, be good. Beautiful. Okay. You're going to have a lot of water coming out of there. In fact, that's the same plug that fit into our pool. How about that? My God. Why is it so creamy? Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God. What an explosion. You gotta be careful, you know? You gotta do it slower so you don't get squirted on. Alright, so you hear all these funky noises, that's normal. Okay, all the water's draining. You know what, just make sure when you guys open your filters that you don't have any live electrical wires around. Alright, so you can just let that drain, and you'll leave that open for the winter. You don't have to close it. Well, you can put that plug back on, but just on the first turn, you don't want it sealed tight. Okay, you want water to be able to get out of there if it needs to. Okay, let's record it. Whoa. That's a good sound usually. That's the sound you want. Just make sure when you turn on the lights that you're happy. Alright, so we're about to put our cover on. Here's our cover that we packed away for the winter. What we're going to do, and you're going to need 2 people for this. It's not really possible with 1 person. Probably not impossible. I guess you could do it if you had to, but anyway, 2 people. So we're going to unfold it. Make sure you have a big field. So show the field. Show the field. Okay, so you can unpack it. And what we're going to do is we're going to unpack it and then roll it in the opposite direction that we're going to unroll it when we get to the pool. So maybe it doesn't sound clear right now, but you'll see as we go through it what we're going to be doing.
Oh, look at this nice car. Woohoo!
So this is the outside, okay? This is what's going to be showing. What we're going to do is we're going to roll this to that edge. So when we get to the pool area, we just roll it over the top. Okay, so we rolled it. Okay, so again, this is our top, this is our water side. We're going to fold it in half one more time just so it's easier to carry the pool area. But 2 people, you need 2 people. Okay, so here it is in half. You're going to have 2 people, 1 guy is going to grab this side, the other guy's going to grab the other side. Okay, just one more additional thing that I like to do with my pool is I took just a regular old rubber welcome mat that I bought at Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever. I just covered over my skimmers. Just it protects for less water going into the skimmers throughout the season. So it's not needed, it's not necessary. I like to do it. Alright, so we brought our cover over here. We laid it out in the direction we're going to unroll it. Okay. And also, just as another note, on these pieces here, you have these plastic spring covers. It's essentially, they protect the spring from scratching your concrete and for them getting scratched up. And so make sure you have these on. We don't have to take them off for the season, meaning when you winterize your cover, I like to take them off and store them in a separate bag. But make sure you put all of them on. So each spring will have one of these guys. Close. Just a little point of awareness. If you look at your spring, you have a little dip, okay? This is the way it goes on. Don't put it on this way. It has to go on this way, okay? So the little bend to the concrete. It'll go like that, okay? Not like this. Okay, so we're connecting all of our hooks, okay? So what we've been doing, making sure the plastic pieces are in place. So we connected the main one, so the cover is somewhat tight, and now we'll connect all the other ones that are remaining. Alright, so we got the cover on. We got a little bit of areas where they're loose, so we're going to tighten them up. And the way to do that is, you can see we have a little fastener here. We simply will need to feed a little bit more this way, okay, and then pull it through, and then we'll hook it back up to the hooks. Nice.
Yeah, it's really tight.
That's what she said. Oh!
All right.
Okay, so our cover's on. It's pretty tight. There are some loose spots, but that's just through age. That's what's going to happen. So the last step of our pool closing is to put in our cover water pump in the center of the cover. So you just take your little skimmer here, and you push it out. You push it out into the middle. Now make sure your hose here is not pumping the water back in the pool or on the cover. So you want to put it downgrade, somewhere where it's going to go away from the pool. Okay? And then you plug it in, and those pumps